Why are some ads seemingly irresistible while others don't last a second before they get skipped? Well, it all comes down to how well you execute the first 5 seconds of your ad, aka the hook. Over the last couple of years, I've tested hundreds of hooks, and in this video, I'm going to break down the principles of how to create great hooks and the exact formats that are printing leads for my clients right now. So within the first 5 to 15 seconds, whether it's effective or not, what you say on the ad is what's considered your hook. The hook's job is to do only 2 main things. The first is to validate that the ad is relevant to who you're trying to be speaking to, the viewer, your ICP, whoever you're looking to target. And the second thing is that it creates enough intrigue that they want to watch the rest of your ad. If they're not watching the rest of the ad, then they're not going to click the button. If they skip the ad, they're not converting on your landing page. If they're not converting, there's no sales to be made. This is why your hook accounts for 80% of your ad's success, because there's a million different ways you can execute the body, but if they're not going to end up getting to the body of your ad or the call to action, then the rest of it doesn't matter. So you have less than 15 seconds to say what you're going to say before the viewer either continues to keep watching or just skips and your ads drop off. And a shocking statistic has shown that in 2000, the average attention span was about 12 seconds. And now in 2026, it's dropped to literally 8 seconds. That is less than a literal goldfish. This stresses the importance that within the first 15 seconds, you need to create the intrigue and validate the person watching the ad to know that it goes for them. And you need to grab their attention within less than 8 seconds to make this happen. On the bright side, if you nail the hook, your retention in the first 15 seconds will be upwards of 40 to 50%. So to keep the viewer engaged, so to maximize viewer retention, there are 3 main elements in the hook. The first being a spoken element, basically meaning the script and sound effects within the hook should be congruent to your message, your offer, your angle. There's a visual element, so what's shown on the screen should be congruent with your hook. And then a text and graphics, essentially having on-screen text or graphics that communicates the hook's message independently of what's being said or shown. So an indirect image correlated to what you're saying. So it could be a graphic, or it could be text, or it could be B-roll. Anything that correlates but isn't exactly what's being said. So here are the winning formats. So the first format is exposing the truth. People love gossip. If you're going to tease that you are about to reveal a secret, people are naturally going to stick around because they have that itch in their brain that they want to know what it is, especially if it's relevant to them. So you can use language like, he finally exposed it, or the secret that homeowners or realtors don't want you to know. And you want to keep it relaxed and organic looking, because over-polished usually just hurts the format now in 2026, as organic UGC, user-generated content, is now outperforming the polished TV look, because now, inversely, it's now looked at as more of a scam, depending on how your script and how your brand is positioned. The second format is the weird visual format. So this is something that is so weird or unexpected that people literally cannot scroll past it. For a practical example, this would be like a woman maybe with a bag over her head, or an AI image that defies reality, for example. It doesn't have to make sense right away. The confusion of the ad is the point. So this touches on the classic textbook definition of a pattern interrupt, showing someone something they haven't seen before in order to create intrigue. The caveat to this is you want to make sure that you get the weird moment fast, because every single moment or second of buildup is a chance for someone to leave. So you want to get into your point as soon as they catch the attention within this wild visual example. The third format is the hidden answer hook. The premise of this is just blurring out your offer or your answer in the hook itself. Tell people there's a secret, which is your offer or your hook to what the pain that they're experiencing, but don't show them what it is immediately. And it sounds really simple, but it works incredibly well because naturally people just cannot genuinely stand not knowing what something is. So in order to keep them engaged, you want to make sure the rest of the video delivers on your T's and slowly builds their way up there. Otherwise, you're going to lose people fast if it's not done the right way. Now, the next format is the demographic hook. This is one of my favorites because it's just a classic proven winner. Just say who the ad is for in the beginning of the hook, literally within your first line. If you're a homeowner in your location, let's say you're actively serviced in Milwaukee. If you're a Milwaukee homeowner looking to sell their home fast, here's what you're missing out. Or listen up. The right people immediately are going to feel this because you're calling them out in your local area, so they feel it's really relevant to them and that you're going to know what you're talking about because you're positioned on a YouTube ad. And this way, they're going to lean in. The wrong people are going to scroll away, and that's perfectly fine because a slightly lower hook rate with the right audience is always going to outperform a massive hook rate, meaning a lot of people that are going to watch your hook but not stay for the ad, is going to outperform it way more because you obviously want the right audience to be watching your ads. You don't want 20-year-olds looking for camping gear when you're looking for homeowners that are looking to sell their home and look for a real estate solution on how to maximize their home's value. So don't worry about it for the sake of the numbers. Look at your numbers as far as how many people are actually converting on your landing page, how many of these are quality leads that are coming in the pipeline, rather than just worrying about all of these top of funnel metrics, when in actuality, those are usually just for testing or they're not really relevant as long as your conversion is going to match in a healthy standard. And finally, we have the reaction hook. The goal here is to just use testimonial or client footage as the hook itself. You want to capture their reaction to your services, they meaning not the viewer, but your actual client that you already worked with that had success with you. And you want to make sure that the client specifically states their transformation before they worked with you, and then afterwards, after you transformed, after you maximized their home's value, they got equity or whatever it is that was the benefit of working with you. That's what you want to showcase. And this works especially well if you have a lot of big client wins and you don't want to stress too much about engineering the clip, because the unplanned human moments, the natural touch, the natural give and take, the natural ebb and flow of a conversation is what wins in 2026, not an over-polished look, not the cinematic TV look, but rather someone who's actually in the situation that you want clients to be in, or not rather be in, but you want to attract clients that are also in situations where you can provide your service and actually help them. Those are 5 hook formats that are absolutely printing for my clients right now. Now, if you've gotten this far, you need to know a lot more about YouTube ads than just the hooks. Luckily for you, I recently recorded a video on how I set up YouTube ad funnels for my real estate clients, from the ad account setup to the landing pages and everything in between. You can check that out right here. Aside from that, that's all I have for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.